this is the type of guy who can lead a franchise and take your offensive side of the ball to the next level. And I'm just happy for Caleb too, because I thought that was so big that Caleb and Rome and DJ were at the press conference.
Yeah.
Like I heard that DJ might have cut a
vacation. He was in Europe or something with his family.
That right there is the culture changing.
Yeah,
like in front of our eyes, the culture is changing.
Hey, before we get going here, I want to talk about the great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Nice championship Sunday, boys. I cracked open some Millers on my couch.
You know what I did?
What'd you do?
I got them delivery.
Oh, did you?
I actually took advantage of that.
That's
it was
nice.
A very nice service. They bring you a 24-pack. I made myself a big pot of chili. Nothing goes better with that than a great tasting, less filling Miller Lite.
Yeah, pour a little in there maybe. Just get a little.
I don't cross-contaminate. I use it to just wash it.
Contaminate? That doesn't sound like contaminated to me.
Yeah,
Keep them separate. It's almost like Miller Lite turns into like a palate cleanser. Every sip, it's just like it's the perfect balance. It was
with
fantastic.
chili. It is legitimately the perfect palate cleanser.
And
you got the thickness and viscosity. Do you like that word?
Yeah,
the chili.
Yeah,
I think I actually used it.
I think you did too. So I had an award-winning chili and an award-winning beer. So it was great.
Bang. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/stretch to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Go grab your Miller Lite. All right, welcome to the stretch. So, of course, immediately after we recorded, Ben Johnson was hired. We talked about it a little bit on Friday's episode, Dan. We had Mike Martz on. We chopped it up with him. So it's an A+ hire.
Oh.
Yes.
What he said A+?
He literally said...
Generational coach.
This is word for word. He's the best play caller, better than Peyton, better than who else did he
said everyone. He's the best play caller he's ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah. He's all in.
Are you guys all in? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited, but I think
it's cautious optimism.
Yeah, 6 out of 10. I'm staying 6 out of 10. I got to see wins still, but I said it last week. I mean, that was, and when we had Waddle on, I can't remember who it was. Me and Chief.
You and Chief. Yeah.
Waddle said to us, he's like, if they hire Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel, that means that things are changing in Hallis Hall. The fact that they were able to get Ben Johnson, the fact that they opened up their, checkbook for Ben Johnson probably made George feel very uncomfortable. Ben Johnson wanted to be here. Ben Johnson wanted to coach Caleb. It's all awesome. And I owe apologies to Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren.
See, we talked about this last week.
Okay.
I don't think anyone owes an apology. I think they deserve a good job. Attaboy.
I owe an apology to Ryan Poles because I was like, he is not going to be able to get Ben Johnson because he doesn't want Ben Johnson because Ben Johnson might push him out. That was wrong. Ryan Poles was obviously integral in getting Ben Johnson. And Kevin Warren, I think, like I do believe, and I don't have any inside knowledge of what happens at Hallis Hall. I do believe that Kevin Warren probably going to George McCaskey and being like, hey, you have to pay $13-14 million, something you're not comfortable doing in order to get us back on the right path. I think Kevin Warren is integral for this as well. So I think both those guys, you're right, a good job, but I was critical of both of them. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I'm going to apologize to them just because I was very critical and I was skeptical of them able to pull this off, and they pulled it off. And it's a guy, like, the Bears don't get guys like Ben Johnson where everyone wants him and he picks the Bears. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
You're right.
So,
but the Bears have also never had the number 1 overall pick quarterback.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, but it does feel like it is a change, and that's what we've been saying is like things are just going to be the same. Things are never going to change. And I don't know if you guys read all the stories where it's like Ben Johnson kind of wanted the Bears job last year.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to stay with the Lions and give him one more year, try to see this thing through. And that might be why, like, in retrospect, if that's exactly how it played out, then the Eberflus, I know that this year was a disaster, and I wish it had gone better for Caleb in terms of like his support and coaching and all that stuff. But if the end goal was to get Ben Johnson and not hire someone for a year and hope that, Ben Johnson, like, if the end goal is Ben Johnson and they pulled it off, then they deserve credit and they deserve an apology from me because I've been very critical.
I think your Warren point is very sound. Very sound, where it's the fact of, hey, I don't think Ted Phillips gets this done. I think he probably scoffs at the idea of paying a coach that much too.
Right, first-time head coach.
I think your Warren point's very sound. Your Poles point I get, but I also think Ben was already attracted to the job regardless of who the GM
Right, but Poles has to, I mean, it can't be comfortable being Ryan Poles in the position he's in where he's in the last year of his contract and he's going to be hiring a new head coach who potentially could get the power, and now Kevin Warren has a ton of power, Ben Johnson has a ton of power. Like, that takes a checking of your ego that I think Ryan Poles deserves a lot of credit for. Because he's thinking about the team, and this has been my argument about the Bears forever, is that the Bears are a dysfunctional organization where too often guys are looking out for their own ass and they're looking out for what's best for them. If Ryan Poles probably could have been like, you know what, let's go with Mike McCarthy, and Mike McCarthy will keep me around and will win, 8-9 games and I'll get another contract. He was like, I'm going to take this swing and hopefully it all works out.
Counterpoint to the Warren back pat, though, okay? Because if things don't go well this season, like say if they have another year how they did this year,
and still no stadium update,
then I think Poles is going to get all the wrath. I don't think
I would
Ben
agree.
Johnson,
Kevin Warren's going to keep. Yeah, Kevin Warren's going to keep his job no matter what. That's just what's going to happen.
So then it's going to be like, oh my God, the cycle again. Like,
but that's kind of my point. That like Ryan Poles, if Ryan Poles was just thinking for Ryan Poles and not the Bears, Mike McCarthy would have been the choice, because Mike McCarthy like gives you the stability. He's coached before. And
he takes some of that heat with him in a year one.
Yeah, and the floor is also a certain, like, he raises the floor, maybe not raising the ceiling, but he raises the floor to a level that Ryan Poles would probably be able to get a new contract. You're right. Like, if Ben Johnson, if the Bears don't win this year, Ryan Poles is probably the guy who's gonna get fucked here.
Definitely.
And so I do think that he deserves credit and an apology for me, because he probably went to a place that was like, I'm putting the team over myself. And I know that's what everyone should do, is like but that's not what has happened in the history of this organization.
I don't think apology is the right word. Like, Ed's attaboy or pat on the back is more appropriate. We should, I've said this since game one of this year, like, our expectations as a fan base should not change no matter what the state of the franchise is. This is the Chicago Bears. It is, whether you like to admit it or not you, but like people as a whole, a blue blood franchise. It's one of the best cities in the world. You should be a destination for head coaches. Going and getting the best coach available should be what they're doing.
But that's not reality.
I understand reality, but our expectations shouldn't like mold to the reality that much.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that Dan said a couple weeks ago when you said the same thing. You gotta crawl before you can walk.
Right. The ownership has proven that's not.
Yeah.
Like, the ownership is not a destination ownership. They don't.
Sure.
They don't invest the way that some of these other owners do and try to be like a sustained winning franchise. So I think that, like,
but
whatever they did
when they do make a hire like this, which even if it in 5 years we're like, all right, that didn't work, at this very moment we think it's the correct hire. We like this hire. It was never the wrong call or wrong choice. So I think that we should be like aiming as a fan base to hold their feet to the fire to keep making these right moves, even if they don't work out in the end.
I'm not
They went and hired Ben Johnson. To me, that's like, you should have done that. You don't get an apology or not even really an attaboy from me personally. Now that it's done, for doing the right thing, for making the right move.
I'm more of the mindset.
It's a surprise for sure.
But I'm more of the mindset that I am very critical when they fuck up. So when they do the right thing, I have to be consistent and be like, you know what? Like, because if you're just critical all the time, it's like, that sucks. It's not fun to be a fan.
No.
It's always just shitting on
I hate it.
And you do have to speak in reality.
Right.
And the Bears are who the Bears are.
And in reality, this is a hire that they don't make. In money they don't pay.
Guys, the reports are they're paying a head coach $13 million.
It's insane.
That's nuts.
A first-time head coach.
What was like Belichick making in
like 20? I think Andy Reid makes about 20. I think Tomlin makes like 18. But this is a first-time head coach.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, Eberflus couldn't have been being paid. He was probably getting paid like 5.
Yeah. Even 8. I would have been
4.
shocked.
So think about the difference in that.
Yeah.
And like, this is a ownership again that doesn't have. They're not liquid. They don't have money to throw around. George McCaskey had to feel uncomfortable making this hire, so that's why he gets credit. Like, I know that, and yeah, you could say, well, we should expect more. I do expect more, but I'm dealing with reality of, like, my expectations are so low, And if they can just start to stack a couple of these things, right decisions in a row, maybe you can have something. And again, Ben Johnson could end up not being a success. That's how the NFL works. You know, I mean, we were very excited for Mark Trestman, and he was checked all the boxes, all that stuff. It didn't work. I just think that this guy, the praise that he's gotten, Mike Martz, everyone's, you know, Sean Payton coaching tree, all these guys are like, this is the type of guy who can lead a franchise and take your offensive side of the ball to the next level. And I'm just happy for Caleb too, because I thought that was so big that Caleb and Rome and DJ were at the press conference.
Yeah.
Like I heard that DJ might have cut a
vacation. He was in Europe or something with his family.
That right there is the culture changing.
Yeah,
like in front of our eyes, the culture is changing.
That was those three and Cole were in the front row.
Yeah.
So you're right. And I even think, not that it matters really in the long run, but he did the whole press car wash. I thought he came off really well, too.
I did, too. I thought his press conference was great because it wasn't, like, heavy on cliches. It was, hey, there's a lot of work to be done. Here's my plan. Like, we got to, you know, it's not going to be an overnight fix. And I think the hires have been great. Dennis Allen's an incredible DC. He's not a good head coach, but he hit, like, you talk to anyone in the league, and they're like, yeah, the guy knows how to coach defense. You know, Antoine Randall-L's a dog. Like, that's a culture hire. I even like
Chicago guy too.
Declan. Yeah, I mean, what's his name? Declan Doyle.
Declan Doyle,
yeah. Unknown. Obviously, his father was Chris Doyle from the Iowa Strength Programming. I hate that people are starting to drag this kid because of what his dad did. Like
his dad made a couple kids do a couple extra. John Gruden just did the same thing to me downstairs.
But not only that, it's like you shouldn't be like. Your father doesn't dictate who you are as a person. No. That's bullshit. To drag this guy before he even steps in the door. But is that
just the blue-haired fucking freak show side of Twitter?
I don't know.
Doing
but either way, I just like it's a crazy move to me.
Dave, it could be anyone.
But I like that Ben Johnson is going to be the one calling the plays and finding a young guy that he can, you know,
mold
is awesome.
That's awesome.
That this is like he's trying to build his own coaching tree almost immediately.
I will say though, I think the Dennis Allen hire is by far the most important one.
Oh yeah,
because like
all right,
he's got the head.
Yeah, you need that.
Right. Yeah, and he's a really good he is a really really good defensive coordinator.
I hate to bring up his name, but he kind of is like a Eberflus in a way. Which is I don't say that as a bad thing, right? In this exact specific instance.
Yeah, he's not a good head coach, but not here to coach. And he's also like the reason why I like both of these hires is they're not guys that are going to go be head coaches tomorrow. Like Dennis Allen's probably never going to be a head coach again. So you can realistically expect him to be with this defense for multiple years. Mm-hmm. Declan Doyle is 28 years old. He's never called plays in the NFL. He's going to be here for at least a few years. Like these are foundational pieces that you're like, hey, we're going to build a coaching staff that not only is going to be good right now, but should be good in the next couple of years. And you can build on that and build the culture and have a coaching staff that stays, you know, consistent. And yeah, I love it. I'm excited. I'm excited.
It's a good blend, right? I'm going to go through some of the other ones because, like you said, Declan Doyle, that's his young guy. That's his moldable mind. That's a guy who's going to be kind of getting all the details together while Ben is kind of the head coach and kind of goes over both units, right? Al Harris, DB coach.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like the perfect guy for those DBs.
Yeah.
Who are full with fucking attitude and full, like, motherfuck you kind of
that's what you want. That's a monster of the midway type of player.
Yeah, and then obviously Randall L, we just touched him. JT Barrett's a quarterback coach. Which, I mean,
I didn't even know he was coaching.
No, people loved him in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. So. And then you need Dennis Allen. You need the former head coach. So it seems like he's done a good job putting his staff together. I think obviously all of us wanted Fraley because of how bad the offensive line was last year.
But you also, if you hired Fraley, you would have had to hire him as the OC
as well, right?
And Ben Johnson, I hope, is going to be the one calling the plays, like a Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan. So
I think he said he was,
yeah. So I don't think you like Hank Fraley has to look out for himself. He can't be like, I'm going to come and not call plays, because he can't. like how it works is he's not going to go. I don't. Most teams are able to block lateral moves, so you can't hire him as the O-line coach.
Yeah, and I think that's why Randall L got associate head coach too,
Right,
because
right.
it would have been lateral.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all things sound great. Richard Hightower, special team coach, was retained. It's just, I don't know. Will it all work out?
The draft is going to be, the free agency and draft is going to be so fucking important.
Just
figuring out this offensive line.
In line. I don't care if it starts with defensive or offensive.
Yeah.
Just make it like a little underscore line.
Although people are saying Ashton Genty maybe.
Well, is that because of what Mart said in our interview?
I brought it up to March.
No, people have been saying, I mean, listen, if they're able to address the offensive line in free agency and Ben Johnson's going to want to run the football, and you can make the case. I know that we have so many holes that drafting a running back with 10 is kind of crazy, but this is the guy. You got to trust whatever he's going to do, and having a really good running back is also very helpful for your quarterback.
Hey, let's pause for a sec to talk about DraftKings. This ain't the little itty-bitty, teeny, tiny bowl. This is Super Bowl. Okay, this is the Super Bowl. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 59. Scoring touchdowns is key to hoisting the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and you have a shot to score big by betting on them at DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code MID. That's code MID to get new customers, to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Yeah, look, my keys are fully in his hands.
Yeah, right.
Like I whatever he wants to do. As much as drafting Ashton Genty, I'd be like, oh fuck. If it's what he thinks we have to do, I'm in.
Yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, we all thought that too. Remember that?
It was crazy. Yeah, we're like, what the hell are the Lions doing?
Yeah,
and
we did that thing. We
busting a 50-yard run every week.
He's the top 5 back.
Right.
And
People shit on the Lions draft.
Right.
They drafted linebackers and running backs. And
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
No, so listen, if that's the move, although we got this sheet here where that we have Tankathon has us taking Scatterbo and at 72. That would be fucking
sick.
awesome.
He'd be awesome.
And then, so we got 4 picks in the top 3 rounds. If Ian Cunningham goes to the Jags, we get 2 more third rounders.
Ooh,
So
that'd be nice.
I know.
Let him go.
I don't know how everyone is very high on him, and I don't know where he lands in the whole dynamic with Poles. I know Poles really respects him and leans on him, but I don't know. It's not like
2 picks would be nice in the third round.
They would. So
Very nice.
yeah.
What
Overall,
do we think about Lions fans being so upset? It's very funny.
about
Ben Johnson.
I love it.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how do they call him a traitor?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Like,
don't
that-
know either.
that is
they just
crazy.
convinced themselves he was never going to stay in the NFC North, and it's like, okay,
Wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like the traitor thing is, I saw that so much, and it just, I'm like, this isn't a guy that's like born bred Michigan. It'd be if
He also
faced a defensive end that got hurt from Michigan, like signed with the Bears in his next contract. Call him a traitor all you want.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like
It is a
we offered him a
coach.
shitload of money.
Yes,
and
what is he
wants
supposed
to coach Caleb, and he. I mean, I think everyone just convinced themselves that Ben Johnson was going to go to the Raiders. I did that myself, and it's like, no, he didn't even take an in-person interview. He did a Zoom interview.
He
and then his agent
circled-
told him everything, and then it was like, yeah, we're good to go.
I saw some
circled
clips
Chicago.
too from I forgot the podcast or else I'd shut them out, but they had Ben's agent on, and like all that when all that Raiders team came on, like Ben's like, yeah, keep it going, like let him keep saying that. I
yeah.
like having
well,
that
the price
out there.
goes up.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
was smart. That's
Exactly.
good agent work.
Yeah, but there was never.
The Raiders probably got him a couple extra $1 million.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
but it was never a thought.
Yeah.
never a thought.
Yeah.
So you're right. I mean, I think it's no disrespect to the Raiders, to the Lions, but I mean, this is really uncharted territory for them.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, they're losing. Yeah, I mean, they're losing. Their whole coaching staff got raided. That doesn't happen.
No.
Doesn't happen to us.
But it's credit to them. They were successful. And I get being emotional about it. They just went out in a way where I don't think they ever saw coming.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
they
didn't see
wanted
it
to
coming.
blame obviously that he took an interview. He took a Zoom interview during a bye week. If you think that was why they lost the game, it's like, what are you talking
They're
about?
coping.
It's the reality of the NFL.
Yeah,
Guys are going to leave. Guys are going to get poached.
yeah.
I'll admit, I was in a tree stand for the start of that game, but my dad texted me. He's like, he said, bet responsibly the most money of your highest unit on the Commanders to win that game outright. And I did not listen to him. I wish I would have.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
That was a good game by them.
Yeah. They looked awesome.
Yeah.
They looked awesome. That's going to be a very good team for a very long time. Not that has anything to do with the Bears much, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Bears, or do you want to get into?
No.
I'll say this, like as a fan over the last handful of years, mostly since Trestman, I've been in like that perpetual holding pattern, just like waiting for them to kind of figure out the stadium. Obviously, Father Time with Reinsdorf and Virginia. This is the most excited I've been as a Bears fan.
But I'm not
in a minute, probably since I got the fake.
But the off season this year was pretty exciting. So that's why I'm holding myself back. Where I'm like I'm happy they got Ben Johnson. I'm so pumped. But again, I'm going to hold myself to the standard
optimism.
of
that's a crazy
start winning.
I don't know why that is.
I mean, we got the number one overall quarterback.
So this offseason, we were talking crazy.
I was like, this coaching staff they kind of stink.
Yeah, but we were talking crazy. I was talking crazy.
We traded for a future Hall of Fame wide receiver. We drafted another wide receiver at 9. Like,
also, 2018, like I was. That team is. I mean, if the double doink doesn't happen, I think they go to the Super Bowl.
When Nagy came out wearing the Papa Bear costume against the Packers a couple years ago, we watched it at DraftKings. I think it was.
Yeah, it was 2019.
Meadowlands.
Yeah,
that was like the most excited. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, we scored 7 points.
7 points, threw up a complete dud against Green Bay, and obviously Nagy was canned after that season. But like that was right on the heels of the double doink.
He had another season.
Did he have another season? Oh yeah, he had 2020 year.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think that's fair to say. I think actually I'm happy.
I mean, it's the truth.
I'm happy for Bears fans. I think we're being pretty measured.
Yeah, you got to be because I'm so sick of winning the offseason. I don't want to talk about winning in an offseason.
And it's a fair.
I want to say
Packers fans and everyone who.
Right. But that's why I'm not saying I'm not getting ahead of my skis. I'm not gonna do like, oh my God, Ben Johnson's a genius and all this shit. Like, let's just see how it goes.
While I am the most excited I have been as a fan personally, that doesn't mean I'm like. I think that they're probably going to fuck this up still. I mean, probably. Just based on their history, they're probably going to fuck it up. However, like, if on a 1 to 10 scale, I'm at like a 6 or 7 excited. And I think that's fair with this hire.
It's fine to be excited, but it's just another thing to,
Oh, I'm very aware.
Overarching expectations.
And the schedule's not going to be easy next year. The NFC North is a beast, where you have to play the NFC or AFC North, which is the Ravens and the Bengals and the Steelers. Like, it's not going to be. We have some tough games. It's going to be a tough season.
But I love the staff, though.
Yep.
I love the staff. I think Ben's come off really
Feels good.
I didn't see a lot of his pressers beforehand, but seeing how he was, like, he's just a normal guy. He's not just some, like, nerd behind a play sheet like Trestman.
The Bears got the guy that everyone wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really all it comes down to. Is like, and not only that, Ben Johnson wanted to coach Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson sees something in Caleb Williams that he's like, I want to basically put my career in this guy's hands. That's huge.
And he formulated his whole staff with ex-players who could get through to other players, young guys who are fucking good at X's and O's, and then obviously a veteran head coach who was with the Raiders and the Saints.
Yep.
So I like the way he blended it. So that was good. Any other Bears things, or we could Matt Nagy's going to another Super Bowl. We could kind of get into that.
I mean, Patrick Mahomes.
I asked this to Ed prior to us recording. I don't think you had entered the room yet. Do you think? I think you could make the argument right now, even without this. If he wins it, what's the argument for Patrick Mahomes and the GOAT right now?
I mean, Tom Brady has 7.
I don't think Mahomes. I'll be very clear. I don't think Mahomes has to win 7 to be considered the GOAT.
How many does he have to win? Also, Tom Brady beat him head to head.
That's true. With the Bucks, right? Was that with the
Bucks?
Bucks?
No, with both.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Mahomes he's been a starter for 7 years and he's gone to 5 Super Bowls. I mean, he's obviously the path is there.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Sure.
The worst outcome for Patrick Mahomes as a starter in the NFL is losing the AFC Championship game. That's it. 2 seasons he's lost the AFC Championship game. 5 seasons he's gone to the Super Bowl. He's going to try to win. I mean, a three-peat would mean that they're the best team of all time. It's never been done in the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, and they just make big play after big play after big play. That's what they do. I know people are upset about the refs, and yeah, there's been some questionable calls, but like the Chiefs are just fucking nails.
They are.
Defense is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Chris Jones is an absolute monster.
Yeah,
Spags dials it up. It's just, and then whenever we were sitting there watching the game, and it was like a minute and a half left, and someone was like, "Do you kick a field goal here when it's 3rd and 9?" And we all started debating that, and I was like, "Wait, what are we debating right now? They're going to get a first down. That's just what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. They're going to get a first down. That's the Chiefs don't end games. They end games by kneeling. That's just what they do. They figure out a way like to get those big plays, and they make play after play after play that makes them a championship team, and they're fucking awesome.
They're just a machine of a franchise, man.
Yeah.
Like you look at how they put together that offense, and
they flipped the roster. They flipped the roster.
Yeah.
You know, they went the first couple of years of Mahomes was all offense, and now they flipped it to defense, and Mahomes still doing it and working other guys in. It's crazy.
But still on offense, they're finding value out of guys who were, on the bargain bin.
Yeah.
You know, like Kareem Hunt was done.
Yeah.
At a nice day.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown. DeAndre Hopkins at the end of his career.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nuts.
They still have Kelsey.
It's what happens when you have Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah. No, you're right. The way that
How
they've
old
been
is he?
able to do
Is he
that.
30 yet?
I don't think he's 30. He might be like 29.
He's got to be right.
He's been in the NFL for 7
29.
years. Yes, 29.
And they have I think Andy and the GM have all autonomy to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. We're doing it. The owner just said sure.
It's crazy.
If they win this, can you consider Andy Reid for the GOAT over
3 in a row is never been done. So that opens up
That's
all
what I'm saying.
conversations.
I don't think Mahomes, maybe even not Reid. I don't think Mahomes has to win 7 to.
Yeah, I mean it's going to probably end up being a longevity thing too,
for sure.
Like how long he plays, because obviously Tom Brady played till he was 45. So it's like, but yeah, he's everything he's done. He's on the path. I mean, it's crazy. They're just so good.
Is Nagy going to get the Saints job?
I think it's going to be McCarthy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's weird that it's the only one that's...
Yeah.
Because I think he interviewed there, right?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're waiting for if it is McCarthy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. I don't know what they're waiting for either.
I don't know. But regardless, I don't know. The Commanders, it's not Jaden's fault. They had a million turnovers.
Yeah. Their team was... I mean, the fact they got to the NFC Championship game is insane.
It is.
And that speaks to Jaden Daniels, and that they didn't have a roster that was like winning an NFC Championship game. The Eagles were better at pretty much every position, so it's like, I know it sucks for Commanders fans today, but like, if you told a Commander fan in August you're going to go to the NFC Championship game and get your doors blown off, it's like, okay, sign me up.
Yeah. For real.
He would take that in a second.
I was PFT yesterday.
He was sad, but
because
obviously getting one win away from the Super Bowl is like, but I mean, that game was just so, the Eagles just dominated. Seven rushing touchdowns.
I think their score was a little closer than indicated, though. Like that, don't get me wrong, they had a lot of big plays, but if they didn't turn the ball over that many times.
Yeah, the game was kind of over though when that 4th and 5 shot play to AJ Brown down the sideline, because that was a 20-12 game. And then they went up 27-12. I mean, the Eagles were trailing for like 16 seconds. Yeah, because they got the Saquon run and that was it.
Yeah, it just kind of seemed like the answer to like before half they got that field goal.
It's just, I mean, Vic Fangio is just an incredible defensive coordinator. You saw what he was doing. He basically was like, I'm going to take away Jaden's first read and Jaden Daniels, credit to him, was still able to be effective, but it was just so much harder for them to move the ball and score points than it had been in previous games.
Credit to them, though, man. That's football. Like, those got, like, Quinn, Kingsbury, they got the most out of.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
What a great year they had.
Yeah.
For real. Like, that's how you win with it. Like, that defense, we knew they weren't good for so long.
No.
And they just kind of held it together. Bend but don't break.
Yeah.
We can move it into baseball.
Yep.
The Cubs have a closer.
Yep. Big.
Yeah, big. I mean, especially the last couple of years, like the bullpen's been driving us absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah, the Cubs pitching should be very good this year.
Yeah.
Like it should.
They made some nice little moves.
I know.
Dare I say I'm kind of getting excited?
Well, I mean, the Central is, I know the Brewers have won a ton, but like it's not the most competitive division in baseball. It's not like they could definitely. Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there like 35 now.
It doesn't matter.
Saw the velocities down. There's a lot of like warning signs, but it still seems like everything I read that the Astros fans are still happy with him.
Yeah.
Like he's not the guy.
He's a very good pitcher.
Yeah.
He's a very good pitcher.
Yeah. So it was kind of a move that needed to happen. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's
I mean, how many games in like April and May did we lose last year?
Yeah,
It was just
so
like,
many.
What the fuck?
yeah. I mean, it was all like the Cubs were the team that just never had everything going on together in the
Correct.
in the right way. It
Yeah.
was always the bullpen, then the bats cooled, and that was kind of the same old story.
Now sign
So,
Kyle Tucker long term.
yeah. That's
The next step.
what has to be done. Or sign Alex Bregman.
I gotta call him. He actually asked me to call. I'm gonna ask him if he wants to come.
Put him on air right
You
now.
should, yeah. Be like, hey, Bregman.
No, he wanted to talk to me about business, some business thing. I gotta call him.
Oh, well, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna be like, hey, Cubs.
Yeah, mention it. Just sprinkle that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Cubs make another deal.
Catchers report in like 2 weeks.
I know it's
He
crazy.
needs a little home right now.
Yep. Pete Alonso's still out there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I'm kind of happy with the Cubs offseason though.
Yeah. I'd agree.
It was a sneaky good offseason they had for sure.
Dave, did you go to Sox Fest or you just did a show there?
I did not go to Sox Fest. I was invited to Sox Fest. It was in part of my band. I didn't go. I heard, so this is what I went to the 108 Guys after show at the Removit Theater on Saturday, and I was talking to one of my favorite people on earth, Aloha, Mr. Hand. Rumor has it that so a week ago, last Friday, so a week before Sox Fest was starting, they had only sold 250 tickets to Sox Fest. Only, and they were $50 a piece, $56, I think. The cap there's $1,500, I think it was what I looked up. That is like such an indictment on the state of the organization that, like, I was telling people, I'm like, I am pretty sure that I could snap my finger and get 250 people to come out to like an official event. The 108 Guys did it themselves. They had a couple hundred people at their thing, you know.
So it's 250 tickets they sold out of 1,500.
Out of 1,500 for. Like I use this analogy, it'd be like if the Cubs had Cub Convention at the Metro across the street.
But this,
you know?
this is good that fans are finally being like, "Fuck you."
It is.
Like that's good.
Yeah.
In a way,
You should be happy that fans aren't just buying, like, you know, because that's the one. The apathy is exactly what needs to be done. Otherwise, Reinsdorf would be like, "Whoa, we packed, you know, Sox Fest."
But they said they sold out Fridays, and I guess what they did was just gave every ounce of tickets away so they could call it a sellout.
Yeah.
Well, that was they had the season ticket holders park at the stadium. There were school buses for them to take them to the remote.
People were bitching about that.
People were not happy about the school buses.
It's-
I mean,
who cares? They're going a few blocks.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
bitch
whatever.
about things that are meant like right
for
to
sure.
bitch about.
But it's just like when you're that franchise, people are going to pile on anything.
Oh yeah, you can't make those mistakes. Just get like a fucking limo bus.
Yeah.
that
just
much more
get a
expensive.
coach bus.
I got comments. I saw some clips and it honestly made me sad. I thought it was a very sad setup, sad ordeal. There was like a panel, and I think it was Garfine, Freddie Garcia, Harold Baines, Burley, and who was the other? Contreras.
Jose Contreras, yes.
And like, I mean, it was just like 4 chairs and like a projector screen. It couldn't have looked less janky and like just
thrown together.
Yes.
People said that. So the ticket I think was $56. They're like, if it would have been I'm not going to say who told me this, but if they said that if it was going to be a cent more, they would have been pissed off that they had to spend more than $56 on it because they did not feel like they got their money's worth. And $50 is fucking nothing. Obviously.
Did you see it at all, Dan?
I saw a couple of the clips.
It's
and it was like kind of awkward, and it's like I don't know.
That's what it is. It's just awkward right now. So at the 108.
But I mean, that says it. Like, no, I love the 108 Guys, but like they're doing an event at the same place the day after,
and had more people.
Yeah,
right.
Credit to them.
That's how
Guys do
pissed
good
off.
shit.
And to the White Sox credit, I don't know. I don't want to say they sent a bunch of the front office people to the 108 event, but they're like Schriffen was there, Brooks Boyer was there, a couple of like the front office behind the scenes people were there. So they're gauging the anger of the fan base, but like they know they only have so much pull. And, similar to what the Bears just did.
But they could have someone there making things look nice. Like the Cubs broadcast there is a marquee.
Of course.
Spend a little money,
some nice chairs. Like,
they're not going to spend money.
That is against the rules for them.
Yeah.
And
they even announced something there that's of value. Like Burley's getting a statue. That's fucking awesome.
That's huge. But I asked this to Rowan when we interviewed him a month or whatever back, and if I know AJ feels this way. AJ wasn't invited. I asked AJ specific. I'm like, hey, you going to Sox Fest? He's like, no, wasn't invited. I'm like, that's complete and total bullshit. And it's obviously because he has his media thing going, and he voices his displeasure with the team. And AJ Pierzynski is a White Sox fan. He's a White Sox fan, and if you don't, and he is. I mean, you name the core of that 2005 team. Who's in it?
Yeah, I'm just saying
he's in it. He's absolutely in it. You fucking invite him no matter how much shit he's.
But I don't even think that's it. I think they wanted an old timer in Baines, and they wanted a couple guys from 05, and they're like,
they
this
could
is
have
fine.
gotten AJ.
They could have, but I'm saying they did. They specifically didn't want to do that though
because he's
going to
it's state controlled media.
Truth. Yeah,
it's North Korean media out of the White Sox. But it all boils down to Jerry Reinsdorf and ownership in the end. Similar to what the Bears just did with the Johnson hiring, the White Sox did go out and get who they say was the best manager of the potential new managers of last offseason, and Will Venable. So I know they're trying to do the right thing, but it will not work if they don't complement these good pieces that they have traded for in free agency, and they've never done that. They just never have. I think that they're holding out until after this next season, the 2026 season, and it is going to be a bloodbath in the next CBA negotiations. We're not going to see baseball in the early part of 2026.
Yeah, I just kind of think that they're treating the fans like idiots. Like you guys are complaining about no Sox Fest. Well, here you go. Here it is. It's like that. That's not a Sox Fest.
That's not Sox Fest.
No.
And you know how big Sox Fest is.
Yeah, people loved it.
We love it.
People loved it.
We love it.
Hey guys, Ghost. We got them laid on our desk. Chiefs got the tropical mango over there. Big Cat's got the Swedish fish. White Sox Davey got the red berry sour patch, and I got the sour stripes. There's a new flavor alert.
Tell me.
New flavor alert. It's a Warheads flavor. Sour black cherry. It's now available nationwide.
I have a take. Black cherry is my favorite flavor for a carbonated beverage.
All right. Well, here you go.
They had some in the fridge over there.
Did they?
Good.
In the Ghost Lounge.
Good.
It was awesome.
All right.
I had it last week.
All right. I will be grabbing one because that was always one of my favorite Warheads as a kid. So it's a bold sour and a touch of sweet cherry. It's like all the other Ghost Energy. Everyone likes it, and it's fully transparent, fully loaded, feel-good energy, 0 sugars, no artificial flavors, 200 milligrams of natural caffeine. You could find Ghost Energy at your local grocery or convenience store. For the full lineup and flavor, visit drinkghost.com.
I love the no artificial flavors and no sugar. It is just, it's pure caffeine and it's great.
Exactly. And they got the little boys now too, the Sour Patch, 8.4 ounces, I believe it is. Those are good too. The afternoons, I like calling them that. That's good. Go grab your Ghost. I'm excited to try that new flavor. Question 2 about the statue. Am I the only one that kind of doesn't really like in-stadium statues?
I get that too. Put them outside.
I'm kind of out on in-stadium statues.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You like them?
Maybe for the franchise GOAT, if they had a Thomas statue, whatever, I don't care, but you can't have that many inside.
The Tigers do it too. I don't like it.
No, I agree.
I don't want to take a picture inside, whatever.
Also, it's nice to have the outside the stadium because you'd be like, meet me there.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly what it's for.
It's great. I'm very, very against. I mean, I like it's cool, I guess, what the Bulls did with the Jordan statue. They put it inside, but it's always open for the most part. You could access it even not on game days.
Right. You just walk in and go and see it.
Exactly. But I don't know.
Also, that's different because that's also cold weather team.
Yeah.
So you can't, you know what I mean? It's baseball, have them outside. I don't know. People are outside the stadium before the game. Again, it's really just to meet at that spot.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it is.
That's it. But even if you're, I don't know, if you're visiting Chicago and you want to stop by, that's a quick photo. That's cool.
Agreed.
But yeah, I thought it was sad. I thought it was
now a couple cool parts. I got, believe it or not, notes here. Burley did buy everybody in attendance a round of beer.
I saw that.
Nice.
just doing some math, I heard that it was about half full on Friday. So call it 1,000 people just to make it an even number. What's a beer? He probably dropped 20 grand.
$5K, yeah.
He said it was
No, not $20 a beer.
He pretty much said it was Jerry who bought it though.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
Is it really?
How much do you think a beer costs?
I don't know.
What was that math?
$10.
Wait, what did he say?
You said $20K.
I was just throwing out a random number.
It's probably $5K.
Okay.
$5 a beer.
$5 a beer at a. Hold on.
$5 a beer. Yeah, it's got to be like.
Almost called and put my dad on the phone.
Yeah, it's got to be like $5 a beer, right?
Yeah, it's not 20 grand. I mean, listen, I cannot talk any shit when it comes to math.
Yeah,
I'm not.
But that was some.
What are you calling? You calling your dad?
I'm calling Beef Loaf.
Oh, I thought he was calling his dad. All right, so $20, whatever, or $5 a beer, however many.
I'm saying it was way more than $5 a beer.
Online says at Guaranteed Rate Field as of 4 days ago, $10.79 is average.
Okay,
beer
so
price.
we'll split the difference.
10 grand.
10 grand.
That's still a lot of. That's. I mean.
Yeah.
In the end, that's pretty cool. Like, bought everybody around a beer. Obviously, that's not chump change, no matter how much money you made in your career. But it's just like they're their own worst enemy in most ways, and I understand the apathy, and I understand not wanting to get the Hilton on the South Loop and spend all that money when you know that you can't sell it, but it's their own fault. Everything they do is self-inflicted, and like I when I was talking to the when I was on the panel with the 108 guys, like they know they don't see me at the stadium anymore, and it's because I refuse to give money to someone that will not, complement that relationship with and give back in that relationship. And I truly feel that's what Jerry Reinsdorf, he doesn't give back in that relationship.
Mm-hmm. He bought the beers though.
Oh yeah, I bought them beers. It's like,
it's huge.
On a like I'm almost glad that it's like nobody cares about the White Sox to such a level right now that an embarrassing weekend like this, where you have a couple hundred people come out to see your marquee off-season event, like there's nobody's talking about them at such a point where like Marty Mush isn't making fun of me anymore.
But that's good. Apathy. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Apathy,
but like I want to be shit talked, and I want to be fucking.
No,
I
because that
hate
means
Cubs
people,
fans.
again, the opposite of love is not hate; it's apathy. I think that's the same.
I would agree there. Totally.
The
I said this,
having fans be like, "We're just tuning you out," is the only way anything could possibly change.
I said, this is my exact quote. I said, I hate the White Sox because I love the White Sox.
Right.
And for me to become apathetic, that means you have fucked up royally.
You're White Sox Dave.
You named yourself it.
Yeah. You literally, your father named you after the White Sox.
Yeah.
Big win though. Big Bill Burr called Cubs fans cunts.
That's so. I honestly thought that was an old clip. That was,
Yeah, I think he's done it before.
he's done that a
Has
couple
he?
of times.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Burr's the best. He just rips everyone.
And that's very much like, I'd be like, oh yeah, Bill Burr, like he's about the south side. Like I get it. Like it made me laugh.
It's a fantastic quote.
Bunch of how about
So
that?
I honestly, I have run in with Billy Corgan myself. One of my good friend's younger brothers won, when he was in like a freshman in high school, won a essay contest to be the Bulls ball boy. Ended up working his way up through them, so he would leave us tickets all the time. Like when Derrick Rose wasn't leaving his tickets, he would leave them to my buddy's brother, who would leave them for us. We were walking in the hundreds. I think it was halftime of a Bulls game back in like 2014 or 15. And my buddy, we were both drunk, obviously. And we see Billy Corgan walking around. And my buddy's like, hey, there's Billy Corgan. So I walk up to him like, hey, Mr. Corgan. We struck up a conversation for a brief moment. And my buddy asked for a picture with him, takes a picture. Billy asked me if I wanted a picture. I'm like, nah, it's okay, Mr. Corgan. He's like, why? You're not a fan? And he like got sincerely angry that I didn't ask him for a picture with him.
I kind of like that. He's got a little edge.
So he's got a little edge. But I think that was a very real.
You saw the potential. You know you're going to be a song maker at one point.
Yeah,
that's
true.
He's a Chicago guy.
He saw you as competition.
He's from a town over.
He saw you as competition.
What the fuck?
Carroll Stream IL, I believe he's from. But yeah, I think that was a very real back and forth that they had on Howie Mandel's show. I would like to actually talk to Bluntman about it and like have him get Mandel's like, was that real? You know?
Yeah,
What did you
very
think of
funny.
that? I mean, that was
Did you
It was
see
funny. It was a great clip.
all-time ambush. Though,
Yeah, yeah.
by Howie Mandel.
Oh, that was like Jerry Springer shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like Maury.
Yeah, it was very funny.
He's like, of course,
All-time ambush.
of course he's a fucking Cubs fan. Wrigleyville's a bunch of cunts. He was like, that was.
It's a fair criticism. It's fair criticism.
Yeah, I was expecting from Bill.
Yeah.
And Corrigan.
Bill Burr rips everyone.
I had no problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's good with words. He's kind of like Rome, where you just wouldn't want to.
Beat his crossfire.
Rome, yeah.
Welcome, Chief.
Thank you.
How's it going?
I'm a little out of breath. I'm a little sweaty. Gruden put me through a ringer.
I did 22
ripped
reps
my
on the
jeans.
bench
Oh, did
press.
you?
Or my joggers. Yeah.
Ooh,
I had to
down
dive
his
to make an
cheek.
interception. I'm trying to make the team. So
Yeah.
sold out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go do it?
No, I'm this afternoon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is
Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's coming
all right.
out in a little bit.
we've kind of gone through everything.
I figured.
But like anything you want to put in between the Bears, Cubs, White Sox, feel free to. And
I feel like you probably touched on it, but I'm glad they have another guy who's been a head coach before. So I
Yeah.
don't know a ton about Dennis Allen, but
He's a really good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Not a good head coach.
but a guy to help you kind of
Yeah.
sort through the bullshit as a first-time head coach. So I like that. But yeah, that's about it.
all right.
I do have a handful of other quotes if you want to get into them about the White Sox. We don't.
If
have
you
to.
care, then I'll get into it. If you're just going to say apathy, then no.
I do care.
Right?
Fair.
Yeah.
I just don't
So-
like.
It's fair.
I want you to care again to the point where you could talk about them without saying I don't care.
Getz quote 1. We're committed to building from the ground up. And to me, that doesn't like mesh with everything that Jerry said when he was hired, because Jerry said that they can't waste a year. Now, obviously, Chris Getz is your GM, and that's not changing anytime soon. But like, if you're committed to building from the ground up, then you would have been on your ass, because you would have been fucking fired because the player development side of the organization was dog shit throughout your duration as the director of player development. So that's the kind of shit that I can't fucking stand hearing, because we heard it in 2016 when they traded Sale. You heard it in 2011, back when they that fucking right fielder. Who's the right fielder they got from the Blue Jays? Like back then,
Alex Rios.
Alex Rio. Like I'm overhearing we're doing it right this time, because like you've never done it right. So why should I believe you this go around? You know. So Ed, I'm sorry, but like you got to prove it before. And I think they know that, but like I think they also know that it doesn't matter because of the guy who pulls the strings at the top. So, but aside from that,
That's your notes.
that's my notes.
Notes.
I
like
think
the White Sox
I do.
take.
I will be in
Good
attendance.
notes.
Take
things.
more notes
Yeah.
about your life.
I will
Yeah.
be in attendance for opening day, the home opener. That is.
I'll be there too. With
And
you.
I
Same.
think that I have the 7 stages of grief written down here. I do think I'm in the. I don't know
good prep.
What is testing? What is testing in the 7 stages? I don't know.
No idea.
But the last one is acceptance. I just accept that I'm a loser and they're losers.
Sounds like you
Will
skipped
always
some steps, though.
No.
Okay.
Shock. Well,
Don't worry about it.
denier,
Yeah.
anger, bargaining,
All right.
depression.
All right,
I think
dude.
You got it. Yeah.
All right. Chief, the Blackhawks made a trade.
Yeah, Taylor Hall for nothing. I guess they saved some real money. People are upset about it. The Hawks are so far away from being good that this trade, they have to move some bodies out because they've had a gazillion draft picks the last 4 years. They don't have any place to play them. Like even Rockford is like, so if you draft a guy 2 years ago and you want him to develop in the minor leagues, at this moment, that guy coming in is only going to get like maybe 8 minutes a game because they have such a logjam of talent. So they have to clear out some spots on the varsity. Taylor Hall will be one of them. There's going to be more trades like this of guys nobody gives a fuck about, TJ Brody, whoever. And they're going to move guys out. And they're going to sign a bunch of their college kids when their season ends. They're going to get worse before they get better, which seems impossible because they're already the worst team in the fucking league. So it's going to be a while. I've actually had to do like a mental reset because I am frustrated. It's been 10 years since they won a playoff series, and this rebuild has now been going on for 4 years, and they're not any closer to being any good. But this next wave of guys is coming. Rinzel's coming soon. Moore's coming soon. How good those guys are, who the fuck knows? But
at least you're going to get young.
there will be some younger guys that you could at least be like, this guy's part of the future, this guy's not, kind of thing. So
figure it out.
And like Vlasic, who everybody loves, people forget it took him 5 years to kind of have a breakout year. So from his draft time. So we're entering in that phase where Nazar's looking okay. He had a goal over the weekend. Guys.
But Kyle Davidson is holding a presser today.
All right, that I don't like.
That is crazy.
I don't like
Did
that.
you see that? You saw that, right?
Yeah.
I think he's too online. So he made the statement last summer that we want to take a step forward. I bet you he wishes he just kept his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because having another top 3 pick with this team is not the worst thing in the world. He made some, I like the signings still to this day of at least the 2 main pieces, Bertuzzi and Teravainen. Like those are logical. They haven't worked per se, but the logic was there. The price was right. They're going to clear out some more cap space. I think they'll take a run at either Mitch Marner or Mikko Rantanen, who would be this instantly the best or second best player on the team next year. They have the money to do it. It might cost them $14 million a year, which would be one of the highest paid guys in the league. But I think that there will be more talent coming. What the ceiling is, who knows? But I think that like next year should be more interesting and more fun. And then the year after that, maybe you're in the pushing for a wild card, hopefully. But they're still down at like they're pouring the concrete.
Yeah.
They're still in the pouring the concrete phase.
To be clear, so Kyle Davidson had said he's holding a presser today, Monday, to outline a plan on the deep rebuild.
The deep getting out of the deep.
Yeah, but I think it's like, hey, you know what? We need to do the foundation another layer lower.
Yeah,
like the septic tank is fucked up. Like
we didn't level the concrete correctly, so we're gonna have to rip it up and put it back down.
Dan bought the tickets. That's like buying the land and find out it had like a toxic dump underneath or an Indian burial ground or something. So
listen,
now
I'm on auto renew. So
yeah, they got you.
My life. Yeah,
they got you. By the time your kids graduate in high school, he's gonna love it.
Yeah,
actually, that's something I want to talk about. I got a email from the Cubs today asking why I haven't been answering their calls for season tickets.
Why haven't you?
I didn't even know they were calling.
You should answer and then like question them. I still, going back to 2014, I remember like talking to you on G Chat about this, where I was on the season ticket waiting list, I think since 8th grade. And then they finally called me and they're like, all right, November 14th, that's going to be your day. Just sign in with this code number. And I'm like, all right, great. They called me back November 13th after they had hired Joe Madden, and everybody who had declined ahead of me on the list accepted.
Yeah.
So now I'm banning them. I'm never going to buy season tickets. I don't care if I'm a billionaire. So I'm going to stand off with Ricketts and the Cubs.
Nice.
I'll just take as many free tickets.
I think I've told. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is that because I haven't? I think I told this story before, but in 2013. Our good friend Miller, his number came up and he emailed like a bunch of us and was like, anyone want to split with me? And I was like, yeah, I'm in. And
like the foundation of your friendship.
Yeah, and then like like in 2015 and 16, I just replied all to the email being like, you guys made a mistake.
Yeah. And then you moved to New York and just kept them.
Yeah. Yeah. But now I got him back and I'm going to go to, I went to probably like 15 games last year, going to do it again.
Yeah, if you ever have a moment, they didn't sell, I couldn't use them. I only live 10 minutes from the park. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just like kind of a place to go get snow cones for you.
Yeah, I know.
True. 50-50 tickets. Yeah.
Running up the tab.
Exactly. That's all it is.
I had a buddy who won 50-50 at a Sox game last year. Guess how much he won?
$5,000.
Like $300 or something.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
That's like a genuine split the pot with just Dan.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've
Besides $300.
Yeah, I spent a lot more than that on 50-50.
$300 a clip every time you do
I
it.
went to the Mac game where I did the math and I had like 14% of the total tickets.
Didn't win though, right?
Didn't win.
Yeah.
Did not win. I do think that this presser has potential to be like an all-time best.
I really hope he says nothing.
Yeah.
If this is where it's like they don't have a real PR person right now. They've all moved on. I feel like the real PR person, if it was one of the people that we've known at Steinmiller, they'd be like, dude, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like no one's asking for this.
Cancel it. No one will know.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just put out a press release of you traded Taylor Hall, a tweet, and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like Kyle Davidson though.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger, worse job than he anticipated.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of nice guy GMs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Our Pole's great guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll be good.
Apologize to him.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, and started the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't want me to apologize. I did.
I don't. Yeah.
Although I don't have anything at Bulls today. Although this Mark Eversley guy, he's going to be one of those GMs that's like, who the fuck was that guy?
Listen, the Bulls are finally in a spot where like we're hanging on for dear life on the 10 seed. Just fucking keep losing. And the Sixers got to start winning.
Sixers got to get shit together.
They will.
Yeah.
Got to get in the lottery.
They beat the Bulls the other 3 days ago.
Got to get in the lottery.
Yeah, maybe like the Eagles, like winning will motivate Embiid.
Yeah.
City brotherly love.
Yeah,
We'll all do it together.
Maybe that'll happen.
Yeah.
All right then. We could wrap this up unless there's anything else. Anyone else has anything?
No.
Nah.
All right, that's it, Dave. Anything in the notebook to clear out?
Let's see.
That's the show.
All right, thanks everyone. Well, next week might be a little wonky because Dan's gonna be at the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be at the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. We'll have a show though.
I'll hold down the fort.
We'll see you Friday.
Dave will help too.